You were the one they left behind. Maybe not in a burning house or a cartoonish meltdown, but in the quiet way people leave, when their eyes skim past you like your air, when you're there smiling, waiting to be chosen, and they walk right by. Somewhere deep in you, there's a version of yourself still sitting on that metaphorical doorstep, watching someone else get picked, praised, celebrated. And you tell yourself you're fine, but you're not. You're the kitten who was never chosen. And that feeling, that silent rejection, it doesn't go away. It grows claws. In a dusty, narrow alley behind a rundown home, two kittens were born. Sisters, identical in fur, but worlds apart in fate. One was bold. Her fur shimmered like firelight. She meowed loud, looked straight into the eyes of the world. The other, quiet, gentle, shy, curled herself into the corners. When the old woman came to adopt, she reached for the bold one. "This one has spirit," she said. The quiet one blinked, didn't protest, didn't move. She already knew how this story ended, and that's where most people stop watching. But the real story, your story, starts there. Everyone's the bold kitten at least once in their life. The birthday star, the golden child, the teacher's favorite, but being the forgotten one, that leaves scars you carry like broken bones beneath fur. You grow into someone who performs silence, who says, "It's fine, I understand," even when your heart is being gutted in slow motion. You start to believe that love is something to earn, that being chosen means being good enough. So you become what Nietzsche called the last man, someone who seeks comfort over truth, applause over authenticity. And the worst part, you get used to it. Years passed. The quiet kitten grew into a stray, not beautiful, not perfect, but wise. She didn't purr for attention, she watched. When storms came, she found shelter the others didn't. When the bold ones wandered too far, she stayed. She had learned to survive in silence, and in silence, she began to sharpen something more powerful than charm, awareness. She saw the world for what it was, a parade of masks, everyone desperate to be seen while terrified of being known, and slowly she became something else. Not cute, not likable, but real. Plato once wrote about the shadows on the cave wall, illusions that people believed were reality. Most people, he said, never turn around to see what's casting the shadows. They live their whole lives worshipping lies. You, the one who was never chosen, you've seen the shadows fall. You know that the applause is hollow, that the crowd is fickle, that even being the favorite doesn't mean you're truly loved. And yet, you still want to be picked. That's the trick, isn't it? Even when we know the game is rigged, we still beg to play. In Machiavelli's world, only the ruthless survive. But Machiavelli never met someone like you. You've survived not by conquering, but by enduring. By being overlooked, you learned patience. By being passed over, you learned humility. By not being chosen, you discovered who you really are without performance. You became someone with depth, the kind of soul that doesn't shine in first impressions, but stays long after others fade. And in a world obsessed with quick likes and instant love, that's rare, that's dangerous, that's revolutionary. One day, years later, the bold kitten, now a tired house cat, wandered the streets after being discarded by the same old woman who once chose her. She was hungry, wounded, and desperate. And from the shadows, the quiet stray approached, not with vengeance, not with pride, but with food. Because sometimes the one who was never picked becomes the one who saves. That's the twist most people never see coming. The weak are not always weak. The forgotten are not always gone. The quiet ones are not always soft. You may feel like the world hasn't picked you, like you're always 5 steps behind, watching others win while you wonder what's wrong with you. But hear this, there is nothing wrong with you. The world doesn't see clearly. It claps for noise. It celebrates masks. It fears stillness. But you are still here. And that means your story isn't over, not even close. Maybe you weren't the kitten they picked, but you are the one who kept going, who became more than cute, more than likable. You became real, And in a world drowning in fake, real is rare, real is dangerous, real is unforgettable. So stop waiting to be chosen. Stand, choose yourself, because the most powerful souls, they aren't the ones who were picked, they're the ones who rose anyway. The ones who are never chosen often become the ones who change everything.